Today on Corporate Review, join us as we explore innovative technologies, cutting-edge solutions, and timely discussions from leaders across the globe. This is Corporate Review.
Welcome to the show. I'm Jackie Bales. Losing hours stuck in traffic every day is a problem not only for the individual, but for the overall creation of value in the economy. Well, here today to discuss how their company has traffic management solutions for the modern city and infrastructure is Thomas Falk, CEO of QFree. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you.
Thomas, how does poorly managed traffic impact all of us?
Well, I think we used to travel to solve problems, to get from A to B. Today, everyone has experienced getting stuck in traffic. It causes a lot of stress, causes a lot of strain. People lose time out of their, efficient working day. They lose time out, compared to, spending time with their families. Traffic is becoming a problem all over the place.
All over the world?
All over the world. I think in many cities, you see that traffic is just stopping up and is getting horrendous. People are spending way too much time lost in stuck traffic.
So how do your solutions address the underlying problems that's causing all this traffic?
Well, we are a technology company, providing technology that does different things. We can price the road, making sure that not so many people are on the road at the same time. We can, take out certain types of traffic or price it differently for certain types of traffic to make sure that dangerous vehicles might not be where they shouldn't be, or vehicles that are overloaded are not where they shouldn't be, causing problems or accidents. Typically, our technology is used by concession owners or road operators to spread traffic over a wider time frame, avoiding congestion, allowing for more smooth flow of traffic, allowing for less pollution, allowing for faster travel times from A to B.
Well, that's something we would all love to see, that's for sure.
Yep.
Urban planners, government, private business, and drivers all feel the pain of today's traffic flows and volumes. Transportation management technology is integral to alleviating congestion. QFree is a leader in transportation management and offers numerous solutions in road user charging, congestion charging, parking management, and electronic toll collection.
The products that are produced by QFree TCS are intended to maximize the real-time information produced in a parking garage and take the available parking spaces and send those to dynamic signage, to websites, to mobile apps, to iPhones, to Androids, to allow people to understand before they attempt to go to a place to park their car that there will be parking spaces available. And we can provide this information in real time through a series of electronic sensors and wireless counting systems so that when the individual reaches the parking garage or the facility he's going to, there will be a parking space available for them. This reduces the carbon footprint, reduces congestion, reduces pollution, makes for a much more pleasant experience because people know when they arrive at their destination, there will be a parking place available for them. Our biggest challenges globally are to listen to our customers. Our customers are our partners on projects, and we need to understand their business, we need to understand their market, we need to understand the needs of their clients and the products and services they're providing on behalf of that. So our goal is to recognize that and produce technology and equipment that we can bring to the client, and they can realize by implementing this in their business or their local market strategies that they will benefit from this, increase their customer service, customer awareness, and by that partnering, we feel our R&D group is very heavily focused and pays very clear attention to our client base in that regard.
Boston Children's Hospital uses QFree's TCS products to improve their staff, patients, and families' parking experiences.
I think that our clients here at Boston Children's Hospital, the patient family clients, see this as an opportunity where they can go into a facility, they're told in real time where the parking spaces are available, on which level, they realize they can drive to that point in the garage, they can immediately find a place to park their car, and they can get into the hospital for the service or why they're really here. And that this gives them peace of mind, it's a higher level of customer service, and offers them the conscience to know that when they come here, they will find an available parking space.
QFree Solutions offer customers a complete toolset for all aspects of urban and non-urban road network management.
If you think about it now, here in Massachusetts, we have a system for the highway tolls. We have announcements on the news in the morning talking about the congestion on the highways. We can't tell anybody if there's open parking spaces until you drive there. We can't tell you on the radio. We can't tell you on the internet. In some places we can, but there are many subsystems in the city that we cannot tell you if the intersection lights are not working, or if the bus is 10 minutes late, or if the subway's running behind, unless you have the television on. So the Smart City solution is intended to integrate all those sub-platforms and provide that information in one central system that is open access to all aspects of the city's management for traffic and parking and real-time information.
In addition to parking management systems, Q-Free has a complete range of products and solutions, including tolling, advanced traffic management systems, professional services, smart parking solutions, and connected vehicle technology, which will allow vehicles to speak to each other and their surrounding infrastructure.
Thomas, what are the biggest challenges with increasing traffic volumes that the world is facing?
I think everyone today is concerned with pollution. You know, having thousands and thousands of cars spewing out CO2 emissions hours and hours every day that aren't really necessary is one of the major problems. We see policymakers being very concerned with accidents. 1.25 million people every year die in traffic. And many more are involved in accidents. Accidents are causing a lot of congestion, a lot of problems, a lot of cost to society. We see people wasting time in traffic. Time that could be otherwise spent well with their families or in their businesses are being lost in traffic on the way from A to B. That shouldn't really be necessary.
These seem like problems that just come with society. How do you go about finding a solution to this challenge?
It comes about as a consequence of urbanization. It comes about as a consequence of wealth development. A lot of people are now getting wealthier. They buy a car. The number of roads and the area of roads doesn't increase, so we have a congestion as a problem. Everyone tends to get to work between 7 or 8 in the morning, and we all know it, we get stuck in traffic. If we were able to move people out in time so that not everyone drove in at 7, but someone at 6 or someone at 9, traffic would be smoother. Maybe someone would not go in for a meeting if they could avoid it. We see technology coming in, we see other means of transportation coming in, and our technology helps road operators facilitate that. So we have technology that could allow you to price the road, to avoid congestion. We see that taking place in the US. The high occupancy vehicle lanes, going through, allowing smoother traffic. You could have that traffic level in the other lanes as well, if you were to price the road. It's not a popular thing, but over time this evolves into a trade-off between losing hours in traffic versus getting from A to B.
So what you're describing is like what I've seen in some parts of the country where the left lane is given over to toll traffic and the people choose whether they want to pay the going rate, and that rate is determined by how many other vehicles are all using the traffic lanes at a given time. So it can be, for instance, up to $10.
That's one application of our technology. We have a portfolio of different technologies that we bring to market, but that is one application. And we see that taking place. And while this is not very popular, I think a lot of policymakers are now making the trade-off between getting their economies to thrive versus having their population stuck in traffic. A few dollars might be a frustrating fee to pay, but the consequence of getting stuck 2 hours in traffic weighed up against those $2 or $3 is a trade-off I think more people are willing to make.
So if you have a really important meeting, it's definitely worth it to you.
I think it's definitely worth it, to me at least.
Thomas, what is Q-Free's competitive advantage?
Well, Q-Free has been around for 30 years working with these type solutions. So we have, within IT, 30 years is a fairly long track record in history. Today we're at 360 dedicated people working to solve some of these issues. We're a global company. We're in 17 countries today, from Australia to Chile.
Wow.
And we are working with municipalities, policymakers, and concession owners in terms of solving problems on a day-to-day basis.
And you're based in Norway.
We're based in Norway. We came out of Norway 30 years ago.
And Q-Free has made a couple of acquisitions over the past 2 years, or really a series of acquisitions. Tell us more about that growth strategy.
We came out of tolling as our primary focus. We see that the market is changing. We see that the world is changing. So over the last few years, we've acquired 6 businesses within what we call ATMS, Advanced Traffic Management Solutions. It's about applying sensor technology to provide information to road administrators and road managers, and also to motorists and drivers themselves. So we buy a lot of sensor technologies. We bring that information together in a software layer, and we digest it, and we allow information to flow to those who need it real time, as opposed to statistics that are available later in time.
Such as weighing a truck as it's traveling down the road and alerting law enforcement authorities if it's in violation.
Definitely, that's one of the sensors that we provide in the market today.
That is just remarkable. I understand you have some concrete results from the application of these traffic management solutions, right?
Right. When these systems were put in place in Stockholm back in about 8 years ago, traffic volumes dropped by 25%. We saw air pollution drop by 10 to 15%, and travel times were reduced to up to 30%.
Wow.
So these systems do work. Even, the system was put in place, they took it down for the summer, and then asked the population as to whether they would reintroduce it. And the popular support came in favor of the system. So the system is today in operation in Stockholm, even though the population could have opted it out, basically.
So overall, what are you doing as a company now?
We're building the second leg, as we determine it or call it internally. We're about to complete our first wave of acquisitions within this division. Following that first wave of acquisitions, we will build a software layer extracting the information. We will bring to market technology that transcends the different standards in the different regions. And we've just recently introduced a more regional focus. Over the last 30 years, we grew out of Norway. We grew into 17 countries, and we see that we need greater proximity to each market. So we're putting in place a regional structure, putting in place dedicated management for the US, for instance. Moving from being a centralized company into being a somewhat more decentral company.
What would you say are your most important geographical markets? Is the US one of those yet?
The US is the world's largest market for these kinds of systems, and we're making inroads into the US. For historic reasons, we've been focused elsewhere, and the US is really one of our key markets going forward. I think we have the technology. We bought into 2 US-based companies as of now. We see that some technology developed here can easily be brought into the world market, and some technology that we have sourced in the world market we could easily bring into the US to enhance the current operations here.
Excellent. How does the economic climate currently affect Q-Free's business model?
Well, it's interesting. We thought that the downturn in the economy following the financial crisis would make governments introduce tolling systems as a source of revenue. But a lot of governments didn't do that, so a lot of projects were put on hold. Today, we see a lot of business activity in Asia. They are not as much affected by the financial crisis. We see pollution as a major driver coming, reintroducing some of these logics. But the downturn in the economy has definitely put a lot of our projects on hold for a while.
So how are you positioned for the future? And what do you see in the future for this industry?
Well, I see there are around 500 cities in the world with more than 1 million inhabitants. They all have a traffic problem. We see cities as small as 100,000 people introducing these technologies to manage traffic. So I see a major market developing. We're a 30-year-old company. A lot of markets take more than 30 years to develop. In the 5 to 10 year time frame, I see a very, very flourishing market for Q-Free and our competitors indeed.
Well, it certainly sounds like for municipalities and states that Q-Free would be a great place to start looking for some cutting-edge traffic management solutions. Thanks for telling me about all this, Thomas.
Thank you very much for having me.